Molly girl, hey, you thought I forgot about you? Oh, I didn't. I just had things to do. Let me put my glasses on because class is in session.
Man. Looks like we got more ESPN drama, y'all, and it ain't looking too good for mollyqerim. Word on the streets is Stephen A. Smith's alleged ex-girlfriend is out here airing some receipts on mollyqerim, claiming she's been trying to tear down Stephen A.'s career behind the scenes. Now, maybe that's why we've been noticing some tension between Stephen A. and mollyqerim on First Take. Y'all know we've already covered videos of them low-key checking each other live on air.
What we're saying is you guys were right. That's what we're saying. You
no,
were right.
Molly, you did not say that, Molly.
I'm saying
no,
it.
That is what you said.
That's not what you said, Molly.
What are you guys
that is not what you said.
I literally just brought it up.
You were talking about saying, but we
no,
right. Molly.
So you were ahead of the curve.
You're not listening, Molly. You're not listening. I'm talking about your point, Molly. Your point.
And I'm explaining it to you.
At the end of the day, we were making the point. Do you want to promote the league or?
So, yeah, there might be something to all this. Stephen A.'s alleged ex has been dropping videos and receipts on mollyqerim, saying she's the one behind a lot of the leaked info about First Take. Y'all remember when it was reported that folks at the studio weren't happy about Stephen A. and Shannonsharpe getting too buddy-buddy? Plus, Stephen A.'s contract talks had folks feeling uneasy, worried about job cuts and all that. Well, let's check out this clip where Stephen A.'s ex is putting Molly on blast.
Hey y'all, you ready for a little story time? You know that kid in school who's always like really quiet? And there's a bully that keeps on picking on him until everybody finally finds out that kid got them hands? I'm that kid that got them hands. So let's have a little story time about Molly on First Take. See, Molly came at me last night for the I don't know how many times from a fake account. And she was making fun of me. But she didn't know that I know who she is. And so I told her, like Stephen told her, to stop calling him SA. But she wouldn't listen. And I told her not to do it again or I was going to air her out. And so she decided to get on First Take today to do it. So let me tell you a little bit about Molly and why she calls Stephen SA. Molly actually falsely accused Stephen of sexual harassment. This was after he rejected her advances because I guess she thought that he didn't really love me. Anyway, so let's go back about Molly. See, Molly was the one who actually planted the story about her and Stephen having an affair. When Stephen wanted to address it, his bosses told him not to. Molly blamed that on Jalen, her ex-husband. But it was really Molly. Molly was jealous because, see, Jalen told Molly not to move to Connecticut, but she didn't listen. And then she got mad at the results. So then she decided to go after Stephen A. after she saw him coming up even more. Well, baby, she didn't know that Stephen A. is all about Nikita. So anyway, she plants this story. And she thought it was going to faze me, but it didn't, because the one thing I know about my man, he likes all the assets, and she ain't got none. Anyway, so she let it play out. And so when it didn't come, I told Stephen at that moment, I said, you should nip this in the bud, because she is going to claim you harassed her. And he said, no, my bosses told me not to. And there's another story about those bosses that actually are trying to sabotage Stephen A. at ESPN, but I'll talk about that later. So today, Molly was the one who did it. She planted the story. She falsely accused Stephen, and apparently she didn't think I was about this life, but baby, I'm about this life. See, Stephen should have told you, not only am I a banking expert, I'm an IT expert. And on top of that, I was the EEO director at the FDIC. Now, you better come again before you come correct before you come at me, because I'd rather be growing my baby. But baby, I'll stop and take care of you. Molly girl, hey, you thought I forgot about you? Oh, I didn't. I just had things to do. Let me put my glasses on because class is in session. You see, when people don't think water is wet, you got to take them to the ocean. So let's have part 2 about Molly. See, the reason that Molly decided to go and make these false accusations against Stephen A. is simply because she wanted money. Molly is in contract negotiations, and she only makes $400,000 a year. And I said only because me, somebody y'all don't even know, I made that in the federal government. But anyway, Molly wants to make Stephen A. money when she doesn't have Stephen A. talent. And so you can't do that. See, Molly is dry. She lacks really any talent and personality to be on television. You haven't seen her across multiple platforms because nobody wants her. She doesn't resonate with an audience. That's simply it. So if you want Stephen A. money, you need to have Stephen A. talent. Okay? Second thing is, Molly had help with Norby because Norby is that type of manager. You know, that manager who hates to see you succeed more than them and to make more money more than them. He's that person. And so they found a way that they thought they could hold Stephen A. down. That's what's happened. So, since Norby has been hating for a long time on talent that makes more than him, he's going to reap what he sows. So let me tell you what's going to happen with Molly and ESPN because of Norby. Molly will not be working on First Take next season. As a matter of fact, she won't be working at ESPN. Molly is going to get sick again. Her illness is going to come back, and it's going to stay. Further, ESPN profits and ratings will continue to decline until Norby Williams is moved out of that organization. Norby is a cancer, and what God will not tolerate is people being hurt by bad managers. That is what's going to happen. And if ESPN doesn't remove Norby, what's further going to happen is ESPN will fail to exist in the future. And Fox will take over as the nation's leader and as it relates to sports. Now, let me know if you're still feeling froggy and you want some more of these facts. You better ask somebody about me, because this is so y'all make sure y'all record it so when it happens, that you know you can't play with me.
And as y'all can see, I'll also be highlighting some tweets while I break down the rest of this. A lot of First Take fans, have been over Molly Qerim for a while now. So I feel like this lady airing her out might get some support because, real talk, Molly hasn't been a fan favorite for some time. Like I said earlier, you can see the ongoing tension between her and Stephen A. They stay going back and forth, throwing subtle shots at each other. Remember when Stephen A.'s contract talks were in the headlines? Molly was live on air throwing shade, saying stuff like, "Oh, I wish I could control everything," or "I wish I was as rich as this guy," or even complaining, "I can't even go to the bathroom without Stephen A. knowing." It's those little things, but when you piece it all together, it's clear Molly's been throwing shade for a while. I feel like there might be some truth to these claims, But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do y'all believe this drama?